Hey everyone, so I want to share with you if you're doing not EDDM, I'm sorry, boots on the ground marketing where you're going door to door putting door hangers. We were doing that ourselves, and there's a lot of great training on it. But what I found was it was really hard to find a process to stay organized and keep up with what you're doing as you're doing it. Now, this is a process we came up with, but it's not completed, but it's helped us greatly. So much to the point that we actually are looking to hire someone to be like our street team. But this is a way that we think that we can do it without actually having to babysit people, but yet get all the information we need. So what I would do is go to this website here. This is the post office website, and most people use this for when they want to send out EDDM. So what they would do is they would come here, you'd put in an address here, and then you can actually select different mail routes to send your mail to. Well, we're just going to use this. They've already done all the work, so we're just going to piggyback off of that work to do actual door-to-door, like door knockers and things like this. So one thing you want to do is put in, let's say you just finished someone's house. I would put in their address right here, their specific address. Now this is just a zip code example that I just thought of. So I'm just using it as an example. But what's really cool is you can put your mouse over a certain area, and you can see at the top it says route, and it's got a little route ID 75081-C044. And then it will tell you what you want to do. It'll tell you how many addresses are there. It says business and residential. So I want residential only. So I'm going to click that. But the cool thing is, when you hover over it, it'll tell you that there's 484 total addresses there. And it also tells you what their income is. Judging off of that income, I probably would not target this area, but that's okay. We're just using it as an example. So what I would then do is I use this same route name. If they're already created, I'm going to use the same thing. So I would go and open up a document, and let's look at this bottom part here. I type out the route name, and then I would type out the city and the area, just so I know. And then, since we know the total number of homes, you can estimate the payout if you're paying out per flyer. Now again, this is something we have not tested. I personally would prefer to pay out per flyer versus per hour. But what I next do is I would take, so you can actually see the names of these streets: Morning Star, Rainbow, Windsong, Serenade. So I would take that and I would type out every street that is on the route. So now this is the information that I'm going to give my person that's actually putting out the postcards, flyers, whatever. So that's the information that we give out to them. So that's what we do there. And then the other really cool thing that we did was, I know people suggest using Map My Walk, but what was happening is people would download their own Map My Walk and they would create their own login and their username. And the problem with that is they still had to send us pictures or things like that. So what we did is we decided to go ahead and create different our own separate login for Map My Walk. So what they do is the person putting out the flyers, they have to use our login. And if we have more than one person, then we create more than one login. But what I like about it is you can come in here and you can actually create a route, right? And so this was a route that we had created. And you can actually plug in the streets that you just listed. Okay, so these streets here, these streets right here, you can actually go in here and put that inside of Map My Walk. I'll give it a second to come up. But it's really cool because it tells you how many miles it is and all that stuff. So you can come in here, and if you wanted to, you don't necessarily have to micromanage people, but if they are new, you can come in here and actually tell them which ways to do the street. So my husband has more experience in putting out these flyers. So he told me if I were to do this, I would do, I would go down this street, this street, this street. You know, like he told me how he would do it. And you can actually map that in on a walk. So when that person logs in, they can actually see the directions that they're supposed to go. So anyway, that's it. You can see here as well that we use the same name across the board. So it's not the same route. Again, this is stuff that different ones, but you would use the same process. So I would take this, copy it, and then I would use that over here as well. So now when they go back, when they log in, you can see where they've gone, the date that they've done it. You'll also be able to see the little marks of them walking up to the houses. So anyway, that's our process that we're going to be using. I hope this helps. But that was one of the things that kind of drove me nuts, is kind of keeping up with this kind of stuff. Now, what I want to do to take this a bit further is I want to create an actual spreadsheet with the names of these different routes that we're doing. And then from there, you can put a date, like, you know, list out all your routes, and then put a date of, you know, the last time you hit that route. So that way you can go back 4 weeks or 6 weeks later and hit them up again. So anyway, just a couple of tools. Again, this is a USPS.com search route. You know, this is what's been really helpful for us, and hopefully it helps.